Protests grow in Chicago. Now a new call for resignation.
Leaders around the world are putting distance between themselves and an American political storm.
And an American surrenders to authorities his foreign fight that made him a target. Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, December 10th, 2015. I'm Landon Burke.
And I'm Andrea Kirkland.
And I'm Tim Schmidt. It is going to be another one of those days with a lot of sunshine.
All right, thank you, Tim.
An apologetic tone in Chicago.
As Mayor Rahm Emanuel apologizes for the fatal police shooting of a 17-year-old Laquan McDonald. The teen's death resulted in the firing of Chicago's police chief Gary McCarthy earlier this month.
First, there was one voter in the business loop. Now there are 14, and those 14 have a big decision to make, and it comes today. KOMU8's Tyler Murray is live in Columbia with more on the possible sales tax for the business loop.
Good morning. I'm standing.
This morning, Donald Trump is again threatening a third-party run. The GOP frontrunner stands behind his statement the U.S. should immediately ban all Muslims from entering the states. President Obama has publicly dismissed that proposal. Critics are speaking up all over the world. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has rejected Trump's statement ahead of a December 28th meeting with the candidate. And in Canada, a Toronto city leader is asking a hotel owner to remove Trump's name from his building. Developing news out of Alabama this morning. Look at this. An 18-wheeler exploded on Interstate 20 overnight, prompting an evacuation. Authorities say the driver stopped the truck, smelled an odor, and called 911. The truck apparently contained several chemicals. The highway was shut down this morning in both directions, and no injuries have been reported. Parents of about 100 kids will be looking for a new daycare center next week. Columbia's Child Learning Development Center announced it will be closing its doors for good tomorrow. They alerted parents by posting a note on the door. Here's the note. It says the center is closing due to the building's foundation needing work. A few parents told us they don't believe the foundation is the reason why it's closing. We've learned the daycare has been cited numerous times for violations dating back to 1994. During a recent inspection in October, the daycare was cited for 8 violations, including the fact the director was not routinely on duty, as well as there being no approved director on staff. The facility also did not meet requirements for child enrollment and health information. One parent tells us a lot of families have recently taken their kids out of the facility. We also tried reaching out to the current owner, but our calls were not returned. Your time right now is 4:36, and you're overlooking Lake of the Ozarks. This is KOMU8 News. News you can count on. China says pollutants in Beijing have been reduced by 1/3 this week. This is time-lapse video. Temporary restrictions were put in place to reduce smog in the country's capital. Authorities ordered limits on cars, factories, and construction sites that end today. They also told schools to close, but some have already reopened. The air quality is now at a moderate level. It was considered hazardous at the beginning of the week. Massive flooding is causing problems in the Northwest this morning. Take a look at this. Towns and highways along the Oregon coast are underwater. Heavy rain led to the high water. Officials are telling people this morning to avoid driving on certain roads because of the risk of landslides. A company at the center of a plant explosion in Florida is paying up.
And also feeling a little blue. Blue Rhino will pay $52,000 after this 2013 explosion. 6 workers were hurt. A forklift that was not properly fitted created a spark that ignited about 600,000 pounds of propane. Some of those injured workers are suing Blue Rhino. Have you ever wondered where your food came from?
The answer could be easier to get than you think. We'll tell you how a touch of a button could give you the answers you want.
Tuesday.
Tests confirm norovirus is the cause for an illness striking Boston College students who ate at a Chipotle restaurant. The number of students sickened now stands at 120. The city's health department reports nearly all of them ate at the same Chipotle.
I know that we have statutory requirements that every restaurant is required to attain, and they failed in these 3 items.
The illnesses in Boston are not related to the multi-state outbreak of E. coli cases linked to some of its other restaurants. A startup is guiding people toward healthy eating with the touch of a button.
That's right. Foodways is a new smartphone app that sends foodies right to the source of where their meal was produced. NBC's Rachel Metanoff shows us how the app works.
United Airlines is bringing back free snacks for its economy class passengers. The carrier announced complimentary snacks will be offered beginning in February. The free snacks will be offered on all of United's flights in North America, the Caribbean, and between Honolulu and Guam. The new CEO says he's trying to put customer service back in the spotlight at United. There's a new way for you to pay at Walmart. It's a mobile payment service called Walmart Pay. Walmart is introducing Walmart Pay at select Walmart stores, allowing customers to pay with their smartphones. The launch is supposed to be completed by the first half of next year. Walmart is the only retailer to offer its own mobile payment solution. Most people don't know they're at risk for sudden cardiac arrest until they've had an episode like a heart attack.
That's right. And then those patients sit and wait for surgery to get a permanent defibrillator or pacemaker, all while wondering if they'll have another attack or their heart will strengthen again on its own. Now a vest worn underneath clothing is giving people comfort. NBC's Haley Hernandez has more.
When you're wearing
The doctor says this vest is prescribed either when a patient is waiting for surgery or while the heart is strengthening.
It takes about 3 months and can cost up to $4,000 per month.
Changes could be